Hi ladies, this is a video for you if you are thinking of going back to work, going back to study, retraining, and you're feeling a little bit nervous. I have just finished doing a course with Dr. Sarah McKay, who is the author of the Women's Brain book. There were so many lessons in that book that I wanted to share, and some very specific points that I've learned, which I am going to share with you in this set of slides to help you boost your confidence so that you stop wondering whether you are as smart and as capable as you were before being pregnant, and that you can get back to work believing in yourself and full of confidence and feeling empowered. I hope you enjoy the presentation, and please email me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to share all the research papers with you and answer any other questions you have. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. Your brain after motherhood. This presentation and the tips that I'm about to share are hopefully all about debunking myths about your cognitive ability after pregnancy, so that you can get back to work or study feeling confident and empowered. This is me. For those of you who don't know me, I am Carolina Herrera. I am a women's coach and guide, and I help women navigate change and life transitions feeling empowered and without anxiety. And you can find out more about me at www.taketimetobeYou.com. So, how do you feel about going back to work or study? A lot of the clients that I see and the women that I work with, they come to me feeling very nervous and really wondering whether they're going to be able to perform well going back to work, especially because we so often hear about baby brain, about not having such a great memory after our pregnancies, after having kids, and also in general, just this sense of being victims to our hormones and not knowing what your hormones are going to do next. And so generally hormones get a bad rap, really. So I wanted to start the presentation, I guess, just talking a little bit about our hormones and a general understanding that throughout our reproductive lives, we're going to be producing estrogen. So one of many hormones is estrogen, and I think a lot of the time women think that I guess they don't give it the credit that it deserves. And so I wanted to point out that during pregnancy, our brain is flooded with this wonderful mix of many different hormones and neurochemicals, including, hormones like estrogen, progesterone, prolactin, and oxytocin, all of which are designed to boost and enable neural connections and brain activity. And estrogens, for instance, really is there to promote brain health. It actually improves our mood, which a lot of people, including myself, didn't realize that that was the case. And it is neuroprotective, so it means it's good for us, it's good for our brains. And so understanding that and understanding that estrogen is actually really good for us, and all these hormones are there to help us throughout our reproductive journeys, it is a great thing to find out that during our pregnancies, our brains are actually flooded with a 1,000-fold increase of estrogen. And the benefits that come from that, we get to keep those benefits, and they stay with us for life. So let me just tell you a little bit more about that. I won't go into the detail of all the different studies that have been carried out, but I picked out a couple from the course that I did, which you can then go on to research a little bit more, and I'll be happy to share the links to the research with you. So through MRI scans, researchers, which were led by, I think, if I can pronounce the name, Elseline Hoxima, they actually showed that during pregnancies, our brains undergo this wonderful process of refinement and specialization in areas of the brain which are related to social cognition, empathy, and theory of mind. So you could think of these areas of the brain as being your social brain. And so you become that much better and that more attuned at anything to do with reading emotions, understanding others, compassion, empathy. And these changes and the benefits, they stick with us, they stay with us postpartum. And I really think that this can give you an edge, and this is something that you can use when you get back to work. Think about better emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is all about being able to regulate our emotions and relationships, and your brain has just been primed to do this, thanks to pregnancy, thanks to having kids. So you have a much better ability to understand others, which I think are great skills, are great abilities that you can apply to your leadership roles, being a team player. Okay, so I hope that's already helping you feel a bit more confident about getting back to work and also going back to study as well. Now, this is one quote that I really loved that I read in Dr. Sarah's book, and it says, "Baby brain is one of the greatest myths in the field of maternal neuroscience. All the evidence suggests the contrary. Pregnant women and animals perform better than non-mothers in all aspects of learning and memory, both during pregnancy and postpartum." And this was a quote from Professor Dave Grattan, who Sarah McKay interviewed for her book. So what this leads me to is about baby brain and the fact that there isn't enough evidence really to support that. And even though many women report incidences of forgetfulness and memory problems, actual brain scans, research, and neuropsychological tests have not been able to find clear evidence to support this. So researchers in a study conducted in Australia, again, I will send you the links to these studies, actually found that pregnant women perform better than non-pregnant women on memory tests. And so it was really more about these false expectations that they had of themselves, which made them doubt their ability. And they often thought that they were doing really bad on the test when they were actually doing a lot better. Okay, so then what is really happening? Our cognitive ability doesn't decline with pregnancy, but it's the perception of ourselves affected by societal pressures and our own beliefs around motherhood, which are really having an effect. And so what they have found is that instead, lack of sleep, for instance, in that last third trimester of pregnancy, is what's really having an effect on our memory. And also it's just a divided attention. Once you have a baby, you have something very, very important that you're focused on, and that is what is actually having an effect on our ability to focus. And so, yeah, instead, lack of sleep, divided attention have given us a better explanation for these perceived changes in memory and concentration. And this is good news, I think, because it means that with some lifestyle changes, carefully planned lifestyle changes, then we can make a big difference, which is great because it means we don't need to contemplate a brain transplant, right? So that is good news. Okay, and so now what? If you are thinking of going back to work or contemplating studying or retraining, I think, first of all, you can relax knowing that there is nothing wrong with your brain and your ability to learn. You might be out of practice, but that's something that you have agency over. That's something that you can actually do something about. And then I would say that the next task ahead is to question the beliefs and false expectations that might be holding you back. Think about whose definition of success you're living up to. And look at your support networks and how they make you feel, because I would say that addressing this will have an incredible impact on your confidence moving forward. And so let me leave you with this last quote, which says, "You are going to be okay. Mommy brain should be thought of less as a cerebral handicap and more as an advantage in the lifelong task of becoming smart." And this quote is by Catherine Ellison, who's a journalist who actually wrote a book on everything to do with how much smarter we become about pregnancy. And I'll just take you back to that slide. So she wrote this book here. which is a great one to go and take a look at after watching this. Okay, I hope that was helpful. If you want more information, just email me. I'm happy to share, of course, references to everything that I've talked about in the presentation, but also if you want to talk about this in more detail, just get in touch and I'll be happy to have a chat with you.